Hey, what's up everybody? In this video, we're going to take a look at General Mickey from Mickey and Friends. General Mickey's ability description is Mickey zooms with fans appear and clears the surrounding zooms of the last connected zoom. I'm currently playing General Mickey at skill level 1, so the skill range is going to be extra small, and also the ability is going to last 3 seconds. When you level up General Mickey, the size of the range is going to increase and the skill time is going to get longer as well. If you do want to activate General Mickey's ability, you will need to charge up 18 General Mickeys in order for you to activate his ability. His minimum score is 70 with a maximum score of 1197, so his maximum score is actually really good. If you are able to connect really long chains and use General Mickey effectively, he could be a good zoom to use during the score mission. So depending on what type of player you are, if you are a stronger player and could connect really long chains very quickly, then General Mickey might be the zoom that you want to use for the score mission. And if you do want to get General Mickey to skill level 6, you will need to get a total of 36 copies of him in the premium box, or you can use skill tickets. But General Mickey isn't going to be great for coins, and it's also a little bit more difficult to use, so I don't necessarily recommend using your skill tickets on General Mickey. There are going to be better zooms that you can invest in, so I would definitely recommend saving your skill tickets and also saving your coins. General Mickey is not super amazing, but if you have the resources and want a good zoom for this end of the month score challenge, then yeah, General Mickey could be a good one. So take a look at the score chart here on the bottom right hand corner. There are 6 different skill levels here for General Mickey, and every time you level up his ability, either the skill range is going to increase or the skill time is going to increase. Going from skill level 1 to skill level 2, the skill range is going to increase. And then going from skill level 2 to skill level 3, the time is going to increase, so they alternate. One will increase the time, one will increase the size, and the skill range is in reference to the fan size. So whenever you finish connecting a really long chain, then you'll have that fan that comes out at the end of General Mickey's ability. So that is in reference to the skill range. The higher the skill level, the higher that fan range is going to be. And at skill level 1, the skill range is going to be extra small. So that fan is just roughly one circle, pretty much anything that it's touching. Keep in mind that that last connection is where the fan is going to start. So if you end your chain at the edge of the game screen, then pretty much nothing's going to get cleared because it's the edge of the wall. Okay, now what I also want to show you guys is a side-by-side comparison of General Mickey at skill level 1, 2, and 3. This way you can really tell the difference between all 3 of the skill level. So on the left you have skill level 1, skill level 2 is in the middle, and then finally you have skill level 3 at the very right hand corner. The difference here is 2 things. For skill level 1 to skill level 2, it's going to be the skill range. And then for skill level 2 to skill level 3, the difference will be the time. So instead of 3 seconds at skill level 3, you're going to get a total of 4.2 seconds. So you get additional 1.2 seconds. And it might not seem significant because it's only 1.2 seconds, but it really does make a big difference. So if you are a fast player and can connect really long chains very quickly, you could get in another 2 to 3 chains because, depending on how big your chains are, how fast that animation run through, you definitely could squeeze in 2 to 3 more abilities in there. And when I show you the abilities activated at the same time later on, you'll be able to really tell the difference. But before I get into that, I do want to talk a little bit about strategy. And with General Mickey, I do have 4 different tips I want to give you guys. And number 1 is end your chains in the middle of the screen as much as possible. And the reason for that is because the fan is created at the very last zoom that you let go of your chain. So if your zoom is at the edge of the screen, the chain or the fan is going to miss out on half the circle. But if your fan is in the middle of the screen, essentially it's like a bubble burst. You want to have that circular cross burst as much as possible, clearing more zooms. And the more zooms you clear, the more chains you're going to get and more coins. So you definitely want to try to end your chains in the middle of the screen. Number 2 is I would recommend you to get rid of the magic bubbles as much as possible. And you want to get rid of the magic bubbles at the end of the General Mickey's ability. And getting rid of the bubbles will clear up the screen, allowing you to chain easier and also just have more zooms to connect. So keep that in mind as my tip number 2. And tip number 3 would be to try to spam the ability button as much as possible. And the reason for that is during General Mickey's ability, the screen doesn't freeze. So when you spam the ability button, sometimes you get lucky and those additional charges will go to the next skill like you see here on skill level 2. So try to spam the ability as much as possible. And then my final tip here for tip number 4 is try to connect chains of 10 to 14, but it doesn't have to be specifically 10 to 14. The reason for that is you could potentially make time bubbles, but aside from that, you want to make chains as fast as possible. Don't necessarily find the longest chain if it means that you're going to waste a couple of seconds here to make that long chain. You want to fire off as many chains as possible in that little duration, because the more abilities you activate, the more coins you're going to earn. Of course, don't make super small chains, because I tried that where I only get or make 3 chains of 3s and try to just get as many off as possible. You don't earn as many coins that way. So 10 to 14 was my sweet spot, because sometimes you get lucky with the time bubble, and it's a good amount of Tsums to clear off the screen, because when you clear 10 with the fan, sometimes you get 20 or 30. So yeah, just try it out to see what works best for you. Okay, now let's take a look at the ability activated at the same time. And again, this is going to be General Mickey. At the end, there's going to be a fan wherever the chain ends. So there's a lot going on here. So what I'm going to do is slow this down significantly so we can really analyze it. So let's focus on skill level 2 so we can talk it through. When the ability comes out, General Mickey will open his fan. And then what you'll want to do is just connect really long chains as fast as possible. So I got lucky there. There was a big Tsum there. And that's another thing. If you see a big Tsum, try to connect it along with the big chain. So as you see here, the Tsums are still falling down. And another thing that you might find helpful is before you let go of that last chain, you might want to give it a second or so, or half second, so all the Tsums fall down a little bit more before you let go. So that way that fan has things to really burst away. Because if there's nothing to burst away, that fan is only going to get 1 like you just saw there. So you may want to wait a little bit. So all 3 of these demonstrations, I didn't do that. But when I got to the higher skill level, I did do that. And then I was able to get more coins that way. So that's something that you might want to consider. I am also going to play this one more time because I do want to point out one more thing. If you take a look at the top of the game screen, you'll see that when the ability is activated, you'll see this white curtain or like a little tent that's at the very top. That's an indication that your ability is still activated. So sometimes you may wonder when is your ability still activated? You'll be able to see skill level 1 and 2. That ability will end before skill level 3 because the time is identical between skill level 1 and skill level 2. It's not going to be perfectly identical at this point because I significantly slowed down the game, but you'll be able to see that they generally will end at the same time. So keep an eye out on the white area at the very top of the screen. And as you see here, they will go away roughly at the same time. And then for skill level 3, you're going to get 1.2 seconds more. So it's a little bit more, and also the skill range is going to be the same as skill level 2. Alright, I'm going to skip to the end of this gameplay here to show you what I earned for this gameplay for skill level 1, 2, and 3. So these were all my first attempts. And for skill level 1, I was able to get 1,234 coins. And I thought that was really cool because it's 1, 2, 3, 4. And for skill level 2, I got 1,595 coins. And for skill level 3, I got 2,080. So as you can see, for coins, it's not that great. But also keep in mind, I'm not necessarily the best at making really long chains very fast. So if you are, you're definitely going to be a stronger performer here. And if you look at the score, skill level 3 is definitely a lot better than skill level 1 and 2. So once I get General Mickey to level 50, I suspect that it's going to be really good for her score. So we'll have to see what happens. Now I do have another recording of a second gameplay for skill level 1, 2, and 3. And I do want to leave that in here, but I am going to speed it up just for the purpose of time here. And for this one, I did perform better for skill level 1 and skill level 2. But for skill level 3, I didn't perform as well as my first gameplay. But that's likely because my first gameplay was really strong. So this gives you an idea of the ranges that you could expect between skill level 1, 2, and 3. Of course, you're not going to get the same coin count and score every single time, but this will give you a better idea of what ranges you could expect. For skill level 1, I was able to get 1,438 coins, and for skill level 2, I got 1,734 coins, and for skill level 3, I got 1,792. So as you can see here, definitely stronger performance for skill level 1 and 2, but for skill level 3, my first gameplay was better. Here is also a side-by-side comparison between the first gameplay and the second gameplay. And as you can see, skill level 1 and 2, the first gameplay, I underperformed compared to the second gameplay. But for skill level 3, for both score and also for coins, I did better for my first gameplay. So we'll have to see as I level up General Mickey how the scores will do. So that's pretty much it for General Mickey. I hope that you guys found it useful, or at least entertaining, to learn a little bit more about General Mickey. And if you would like to see more Tsum Tsum content just like this, don't forget to scroll down and subscribe to this channel. And as always, thank you so much for watching.